How y'all doing today? Sierra, start with you. Obviously, there's been a lot of talk. We've heard this term this year, fire starters, but you really, that is your job. And sometimes it means you're going to have to take one for the team because the judges just won't give out that great score as the first gymnast up. And sometimes you have a routine like you had, obviously, a career high on floor. Just what does it mean to be in that position and know that maybe sometimes you're not sacrificing your score for the team, but that it might not be what you want it to be score-wise, but you got to go there and maybe build that momentum however you can.
Yeah, I think it's just really fun to kind of get the ball rolling a little bit. I know that I bring high energy all the time, and so it's really easy to be in that spot to like having my job be bringing that energy. And so it's really great because I know that I have 5 amazing gymnasts behind me that have my back as well, no matter what I do. So it's kind of a cool opportunity that I get to do week in and week out.
Okay, and then Leah, this one's for you. And then you made your collegiate debut on both the floor and vault this past weekend. How are you feeling after that with how the season's progressing with the last match in the PMAC, or last meet in the PMAC coming up this weekend?
I'm just really grateful, for the opportunity to go out there. I kind of was made aware the week leading up to it that there was a possibility that I could go in there. So I just kind of had to keep my head down and keep the same mindset and just wait for my chance to get called up.
Sierra, how have you been feeling knowing that it's your last meet in the PMAC?
I'm trying to hold it together. No, but I mean, the mindset stays the same. We still have a job to get done this Friday. So approaching it as it's every other week, and then as soon as it's done, then I can let the tears fall.
Okay, and then Sierra, this one's for you as well. Kind of talking about the career high you posted on the floor last week with that 995. How did that feel celebrating that score with your teammates, and how is that energy preparing you for coming into this weekend?
Yeah, I feel like it's really cool just because I knew that I was capable of something like that, and I know that everybody else knew I was capable of that, so it's kind of exciting to finally get to that point. And I think the most exciting part is that if that's where we start, then where can we go from there? And so it's just another opportunity to set up those behind me and to really kind of help our team to get exactly where we need.
Lexi, if you can, talk about your being a freshman. Obviously, you and Kaylin have done a real nice job of stepping in and taking on these big crowds and pressure. So how's your year going so far?
It's so good. I think at the beginning, it was a hard transition of having the team because you wanted to do it for more people other than you. But as I've grown this year, I've learned that it's more fun to have that type of pressure. And like she said, you have so many people behind you to have your back. So it's an honor to have that lead off spot, and just an honor to be here. It's so much fun, and gymnastics has never been more fun for me.
This one's for you, Sarah. Being one of the veterans on the team, we talk about Chio all the time, but Lexi's standing right next to you. Have you seen her grow from the beginning of the season to the end right now?
Yeah, I mean, same thing. It's kind of, I guess, a common theme against all of our freshmen. They're all perfectionists. They're all really talented, and they all have unlimited potential. And so it's been really exciting to see her kind of come into her own and figure out like what she needs personally in order to like do her best out in the gym, but then also just get close to her as a human. Like we've come to the realization we're like the same person. And so we've gotten really close, and we've been able to figure out and help each other with what we need, especially her coming into that leadoff role. I feel like I've been able to help guide her with that and that mindset and take off the pressure of it being like, oh, you have to do a really good job and you have to hit for the rest of the team, as opposed to viewing it as an opportunity. And so that's been really fun for me to kind of share my mindset on that, because I had Christina Desiderio to do that for me.
Sierra, Friday, a huge score, did very well. How do you feel about the team right now and their performance on Friday?
Yeah, I'm feeling really good. I felt like it was a really good confidence booster. We went out there and we did exactly what we said we were going to do. It felt very light, very loose. We were just kind of having fun on the sideline, but at the same time, we were very, very locked into the person that was competing and that was going. It was really just felt like us out there, and that was kind of the goal, because especially when you get into podium meets like that, when you have to be so separated and the person that's competing is very far away from the team, it can feel a little lonely up there, but it didn't feel like that at all, and that was our priority going into this meet and going into postseason, where we're going to have to deal with that a lot more. So I'm really excited to see what we can continue doing. I think it's like good momentum building up to the end of season.
I'm going to use a golf analogy here. People who know me know I use golf analogies, but Tiger Woods made winning look really easy, and winning is not that easy for Leah and for Lexi. Somebody like Haley or Aaliyah or some of these other veterans, they make being in the lineup and competing look easy, but it's not easy to break into this lineup. Just tell me what kind of victory it is, what kind of achievement it is to be in this lineup and competing, one or two times for the team as y'all are.
I think coming in as a freshman, I knew it was going to be a hard challenge to make lineup, so I came in knowing I was going to do what I could for the team. So to be in a lineup, your spot is valued, I guess, but I think your spot is valued even if you're not competing, which is something we pride ourselves on as a team, is everyone's job is just as important. So coming in, I knew that no matter where I was, my job was going to be important. But I think being in the lineup, your team has so much trust in you, your coaches have so much trust in you, and that means you have trust in yourself because everyone around you trusts you. So it's an honor to be in lineups, but I would say wherever you are, even if you're on the sidelines, it's just as important.
Kind of going off of what she said, it's an honor to be in a lineup here. Everyone works so hard every single day, and if you're given the opportunity, you have to do your best to not only represent your team, but represent the school and everything that you encompass in a sense. And I think that, I don't know, it really is, it's a blessing to be in the spot that we are all in. Not everyone gets the opportunity to do what we do, and you just have to credit everyone that's around you. I personally do. I have to credit my team, my coaches, for getting me into the position that I am today.
We talk about all the time how gymnastics is, a lot of mental. You said leading up, you said you might be in the lineup. How much did you have to switch mentally or prepare yourself, for this meet, or let's just say the last meet, coming in, being in, I believe, 2 or 3 events?
I didn't switch my mindset at all. I treated it like every single day. Like I go into practice, I go out there, I do my best, and you train for it, you work for it, and the environment that we were in on Friday, it was light, it was fun, it was exciting. I had the best time out there. So it wasn't stressful. I wasn't anxious or anything. I just kind of took my deep breath and I went out there and I did what I needed to do.
Lexi, the PMAC, what was it like the first time you went out there?
Terrifying, but not. I've competed in some big environments in my life, and growing up thoroughly, obviously I've been around some big environments, but it's different here. I think everyone says that, but everyone's cheering for you. So we've learned to take that energy and run with it, and even being away from the PMAC, we try to change the energy into ours, but it's so exciting to have that many people there to watch you and want you to do well, and yeah, I don't know, it's pretty cool. It's a special place.
And being a younger gymnast, the senior night, does everyone kind of say, hey, let's send the seniors out right on this event, or does it get too emotional if you think about that kind of stuff, or how do you approach it?
I think, like Sierra said, we're trying to keep the same mindset throughout. We still have a job to do, and then after that last routine goes, I think all those tears will fall for all of them and for us, because we love them just as much as they love it here and love us. So I would say get the job done first and feel the feels later.
Amen.
Sierra, I know it's not the biggest thing y'all focus on. Y'all try not to focus on too much, but y'all are tied for first in the SEC, and there's a championship to win. Someone is going to lift a trophy on the floor in Birmingham at the SEC championship meet. So with 2 meets to go, what do y'all think about that as a goal? What do you not think about it? How do y'all approach it?
Yeah, I mean, it's on our sheet of intentions that we stated at the beginning of the year. And the whole reason why we say that it's an intention rather than a goal, it's because it's something that we plan to do. So obviously that is something that we are constantly pursuing. I didn't actually even know that that's where we stood, so that's exciting. I think I'm just taking it week by week, taking it event by event, person by person, every single week, every single day. Just trying to get that 1% better, because if we collectively get 1% better, then the whole team moves forward. And if we continue to move forward instead of backwards, then we're going to make those goals happen. We're going to accomplish those intentions. And I think that our team is very talented and we're very committed and we have high energy and we're super connected and are really high in our unity when it comes to competing, and then also outside of the gym. And just everything that we do together, I think is going to carry us into those goals and into those accomplishments. And if we just keep the same mindset and we keep pushing forward every single day, then I know that we're going to get exactly where we need to be.
I guess a question for all you guys. Obviously being the last meet at the PMAC this season, if you put it into words, we talk about home field, home court advantage for teams, but how much does it give you advantage when you guys go out there on Friday nights?
I think that Lexi kind of summed it up perfectly. Everybody is there cheering for you. That's the advantage, say in, say out, if you will. I think that home court advantage is a little bit different when it comes to the sport of gymnastics, because obviously you do have the team behind you, but judging is all subjective. And it's not like every equipment is different. It's every arena is different. So it doesn't have too much of it, because it's not like home cooking is a really big thing when it comes to gymnastics. It's kind of all over the place, especially this year. And so the only advantage I feel like we get is the energy that we receive from our fans. But when we go into away meets, we have to fix that and we have to turn that energy into ours. And we talk about that all the time and about how we thrive off of high energy. And so if we can do that here, then we can do that anywhere else. And I just think it's more an opportunity to be grateful. I'm in such awe every single time that I go into the PMAC, and I can't believe that it's really going to be my last time. I feel like it's full circle, that it's against Georgia, considering that's where my mom went. God really had big plans making that one. But I'm just really, really excited to finally soak it all in one more time and just truly take in the energy and the support that the LSU community continues to pour into us. Because there really is nothing like it. Okay.
Thank you.
Don't ask me that question this year, Rabelais. Yeah, I mean, we're in year 13. Jeez. Opening statement. I'm just really pleased with how the team performed downtown Friday night. Small crowd, and getting on a podium and getting that experience was great for us. It was far and away our best performance of the year outside of the PMAC, and we caught fire, and particularly on bars and beam, and just never really let it go. And so they were relaxed, and we were able to pull Kalia out and get her some rest for that shoulder. We were able to pull Aaliyah out of floor and let her hit the reset button a little bit, and made some changes. Kylie Cohen went in for the first time on floor and knocked it out of the park, and you saw Leah Miller got in on 2 events for the first time ever competing for us, and just really stepped up. And she's been in, that's a role that you have to have on your team. And it's just great to know that when you have to make those changes and you put people out there, that they're competitor. I was so proud of that kid, because you never know sometimes when it's your first time ever competing in collegiately what it's going to look like, and she just did a great job.
Okay, Jay, and then we're going to kind of bounce off what Lexi said first, going into the last meet in the PMAC this season, where she said, like, feel the put in the work first and then feel the emotions later. But this is also going to be the seniors' last meet in the PMAC. And what can you as a coach say about or comment about any of your seniors as they're getting ready to finish their collegiate athletic careers this season?
Well, we've got several varieties of seniors on our team, 4th, 5th, and 6th years, and they've all meant so much to the trajectory of this program in ways that go far beyond what they compete as far as gymnasts. And I say this to them almost every year: if you're a coach that's paying attention to anything, you probably learn more from your athletes in your career than you ever teach them, because while coaches try to mold young people and hopefully have some sort of level of positive impact in terms of helping them become across from being a teenager to an adult while they're in college. At the same time, I think I've learned I'm such a different coach now than I was 10 years ago, than I was 20 years ago, than I was 30 years ago, and that is wholly due to observations of what athletes will tell you and what they will express with their actions in terms of what they need. And so I'm grateful for all of our seniors every year, because they leave an indelible mark on our program and on me personally. And so it's tough, because you don't want it to be you don't want it to take over the narrative that it's the last this or the last that. I think seniors do that to themselves enough, and so then when this time of year comes around and that becomes everything that everybody wants to talk about, the reality is we got 6 more weeks of this, and there's nothing ending this week at all. It's our last time this year in front of these fans, but I remind them that no one's dying, and we're all going to be okay, and that we shouldn't eulogize our seniors. We should celebrate our seniors, and that's really the focal point for me, is that I want them to walk in there Friday night and enjoy the whole scene, and let's make it a party. Let's make it a celebration of all that they have already accomplished and are continuing to push forward to accomplish even more.
Haley had won 30 all-arounds before Friday, but was that important, or do you think that means anything more?
I had no idea. I don't think she had any idea. We absolutely, the all-around has never one time been part of the conversation inside of our team. That's something other people talk about. We don't emphasize individual stuff. I think it's great. She's probably, I guess, Alyssa can tell you, she may be the most decorated gymnast in the history of the program by now. But and those are great. But I tell them all the time when they come here, we don't emphasize that. We're going to talk about what our team does and all the individual stuff. When it's all said and done, that's for your mama and your grandmama and your children. And 20 years from now, when you come back and talk about how great you were. But for now, we just don't put a lot of emphasis on that.
So is it good the perfect tens have gone away?
No, no, because it's not. I mean, I think there was room for some shrinkage in terms of the number of them, and there were certainly some avenues to be looked at for remedying things in venue. But no, I don't think it's good for fans anywhere around the country that are all asking questions like, why is it different? You know, does that invalidate everything we used to see? You know, and that's been my biggest concern all along is understandability. We just need to be understandable to fans.
You coached a few gymnasts, but given the family history and everything, have you seen Sierra do gymnastics longer than just about anybody you've coached? And what, you remember the first time seeing her do gymnastics or maybe compete?
Sierra and my son were born on the same day, and they're first cousins, and so Sierra has always been a huge part of all of our lives in my family, and I don't know that I can recall the first time I saw her, but I'm sure it was when she was a level 4 or something, very, very young. When we would come down here from time to time, I'd get to go over to the little meet at North Shore Flares, and see her compete sometimes. I don't remember exactly the first time, but certainly it's been cool to watch her grow, not just as a gymnast, because I mean, you know, we see that everywhere, but to watch somebody that you love and care for the way that I do her develop into the human being that she is, it's just kind of neat because she's so passionate, she's so full of life, and she's so desirous of doing the right thing that you know, it's rare to be around people like that.
We'll follow up. Like I said, people kind of focus on Chio did great at the all-around, what she's doing, and Haley Bryant coming back to do the all-around. But you have to have those great gymnasts. You got to have those role players too, those Ballards and everything. What do gymnasts like her mean to your program? Not this year, just this year, but in every year.
I tell them this all the time. Every gymnast in our room, regardless of whether it's on a score sheet, and this is what people don't understand. There is no role more important than another. Not in my head. Not in the conversations that we have with them. Leah Miller's role is no less important than Haley Bryant's or anyone else's. And the same goes for Sierra. Sierra's played a tremendous role for us in many, many ways, whether it be on balance beam starting us off or first or second on floor and in and out. And but the leadership she's shown on this campus and the investment that she's made into LSU as a whole, I mean, all of them have various roles to play, and not all of them are the ones that you guys want to ask about, and I understand that. But at the same time, they are all just tremendously important. We are not whole. We go on the road and we have to leave kids at home. It drives me crazy because you know, I can only get so many on the airplane, and because there's a void when we're not together, when we're not all in the same room, you can feel the lack of presence of this personality or this set of traits that helps lead us in the direction we want to go, or whatever the case may be. And so it drives me crazy when we're not, because the squad size our size, when you're in that 18 to 20 to 22 range, you know, everyone has an impact. We're not walking around with 100 people on a team. We're a pretty close knit bunch, and they all are tremendously important to our success, regardless of whether they're on a score sheet or not.
You mentioned you want 6 more weeks out of this, but where do you feel like this team is right now?
I think obviously we're doing a lot really well. I think we're walking a little bit of a tightrope health-wise, and trying to make sure that we are very judicious with our bodies and not overtrain. And take too many chances. I think we made some good decisions Friday night, getting Kalia out and getting Aaliyah a little bit of a mental break. And but I feel good about where we are. Obviously, we're doing a lot right if we're this stage of the game to be where we are and be in a good position. But we don't have a whole lot of wiggle room in terms of health, and we just need to make sure that we're smart and that we don't get greedy and make a poor decision.
Given those gymnast breaks, so late in the season, during the last stretch, like KJ, Kalia, Leah, how big is that, heading into, SEC championships, NCAA tourney at the end of the regular season?
Well, you don't know till you see, but I my gut tells me that it can't hurt, and I certainly think it was a positive thing for Kalia. Her shoulder was not in the best. She probably could have gone, but it really, if we were gonna pull her out, that was really the last chance that we had to do so. And I think for Aaliyah, just, it's not just the mental break. Her ankles and her feet are tender from time to time, and we have to, I think it probably helped her too. She knocked it out of the park on the 3 events that she did, and I think that in and of itself, I think relieving. Sometimes you don't understand this. I've talked to, like I said, I learn a lot from gymnasts over the years, and I can't tell you how many times that it's been expressed to me how different it is doing 3 events than over 4, just from a mental standpoint. And so, hopefully that just allowed Aaliyah to breathe a little bit, and we gotta ride that horse the rest of the way. So let's. She doesn't need to get too used to it. Somebody will be mad at me for calling her a horse, probably, but.
6-year senior Alona Shenikova has been on campus since 19 when Joe Burrow was winning a Heisman and all
Isn't that
that.
crazy?
What has she meant to the program, and what was it like recruiting her after the injury to come back for year 6?
Yeah, it does. Alona reminds me all the time that she's grandmama on the team. But Alona, if you know Alona's greatest strength, as great a gymnast as she is and has been, her greatest strength is her personality and the love for life and for fun, and a tremendous sense of humor, and she brings so much levity to the room in terms of just when things can feel heavy. Sometimes Alona has a way of getting us to realize that, we're not talking about world hunger, and that things are not as bad as they sometimes feel. And we're talking about gymnastics, and gymnastics is fun for her, and she will be missed tremendously. Trying to bring her back was a bit of a conversation. I think she was a little afraid that of the unknown and not really knowing how it would work out, and truthfully, it probably hasn't gone exactly the way she would have wanted it to. Just little setbacks that have happened along the way in her rehab progress. It didn't go as smoothly for her as it did for Connor. And but at the same time, she stayed positive and she stayed engaged and she stayed, fully present and pushing forward. And she's really very, very, very close. Like I had her on the same line on the bar lineup on with Aaliyah on Friday, and it wasn't until after warm-ups that I made the decision to go with Aaliyah. Like she was ready to go and had warmed up and was in, and she's very close on floor. So we're getting late in the year and all, but we certainly need her to continue to push and be prepared, because at any moment something changes and she may need to go in. And the beauty of that is that we've got an experienced, proven commodity in Alona, that if she had to go in late in the year, I wouldn't be concerned, because I know the kind of competitor that she is.